of changes in the asylum laws. And, so that's what we'll be talking about to make sure that what's happening from the world of asylums and, what exactly is going on. And firstly, I must welcome a few guests today. And one is Alan Farito. Welcome to the show. Hina Wajid, welcome. Laura, welcome to the show. Manjeet, Priya, and Sajid. So welcome to Green Card with Gehi. So if you have any questions, it's very simple. We'll be taking your questions on Zoom. And you'll have to log on to Zoom, mention the name, and be professional, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So we have 2 more minutes. What is today's show about? It's based upon the demand of our viewers, and our viewers said that they want to have an open question and answer session with me about basically what's going on with their immigration cases and what solutions they have. So before we get to today's show, I just want to mention a few things that the asylum laws in this country are about to change. The other thing that we are noticing is that people who are out of status, who are losing the status in this country, they are getting notice to appear before the immigration judge. So what is a notice to appear? A notice to appear is a document that asks you to come and, present yourself in court, and which is not the best thing. But of course you have rights. So there's nothing to be scared about. You have to go to the judge and let him know that if you are out of status, or like if you violated the laws, the immigration laws of the United States, as to why you should not be leaving this country. So that's what generally a notice to appear before an immigration judge means. Now, some people get very scared about the notice to appear, and they hide. And I think hiding is not a solution to the problem. It can only make things worse for you. So if you're in that predicament wherein you've gotten a notice to appear before an immigration judge, the best thing for you to do is actually to appear before the judge and try to fight for your rights. And the most common question I get is that if I get a notice to appear, can I even qualify for a green card? The answer is you may. We've handled many cases over the years wherein people have fought their notice to appear, and they've defended their basis of immigration. Some have filed for political asylums. Some of them have gotten married in between. Some of them had other leaves. For example, they've been subjects of abuse through their spouses, whatnot. So getting in the notice to appear does not mean that is the end of your case. It just means that you need to show up before a judge and let them know as to what are your legal rights and why do you intend to live in the United States of America. So now, before we start taking questions and answers, and I know you all are waiting for your questions, so start coming on Zoom if you have a question. Or if not, you can start typing, and on the chat forum, and I'll be happy to kind of answer your questions. So now let me tell you about what's going on from the world of asylums. You're seeing some important news coming out from the world of asylum. And DHS, Department of Homeland Security, is changing some asylum rules. Is there anything for you to be scared about? The answer is no. Keep fighting your case and stand up for your rights and see what happens. The first rule is that now this is very important for people who have filed for asylums. Please expect a backlog in your work permit. Don't blame your lawyer, because work permits are going to be delayed. It can be delayed from 150 days to 365 days very soon. So end of the day, these rules are coming from the government, and the current administration is kind of getting very strict when it comes to asylum cases and immigration matters. But you all need to know something is that it's important for you to keep fighting for your legal rights in this country. Now, first rule, as I said, may delay asylum related work permits from 150 days to 365 days. That's one change we are expecting. Bar asylum seekers from receiving a work permit if they attempt to enter the United States without inspection on or after August 25, 2020. So if someone comes into the United States after August 25th, crosses the border and comes in, then they may not get a work permit. There will be some exceptions. So we'll look into those exceptions, what they are. and we should be able to fight them out for sure. So if there's someone who's going to enter after August 25th, so what you need to do immediately, even a lot of people are coming to office now to apply for the asylums. If you know anyone who wants to apply, please, please, please don't wait. You still have time. You should be able to get your asylum application in. If you know someone, tell them, please get your asylum application in as soon as possible. So this is breaking news, and I want all of you to spread the word about asylums. Now, the third thing is that deny employment authorization to asylum seekers who filed their asylum applications after the 1 year deadline. So if you're going to apply for your asylum after 1 year, they can deny your work permit. So make sure that you apply as soon as possible, unless granted an exception. Let's see how the exception plays out. But keep fighting for your rights if you are claiming asylum. Deny employment authorization if the underlying application has experienced unresolved applicant cause delays. So if you are going to keep delaying your asylum hearing, then they want to stop giving you a work permit. So that's the new thing that is coming in. And the next thing is automatically terminate asylum seekers' work permit without renewal if an immigration judge denies. That's always been something that they want to do, is that, if your immigration judge denies a case, they don't want to give you basically, the work permit. Limit the employment authorization validity to a maximum of 2 years. So you're going to get your work permit for 2 years if basically asylum is pending. And plus, if you have a felony conviction, if you have a serious criminal record, then they're going to make sure that they kind of don't grant you, the work permit. So in a sense, to make a long story short, if you are applying for asylum, please apply as soon as possible. Do not wait. You don't have any time left at this stage. So as I said, question and answers is going to begin now after we spoke about asylum. And now let's start taking the questions. Do you also provide immigration help for Canada? Ritesh, we can assist you as a legal advisor for Canada to go through your situation, and we can actually kind of, speak to the Canadian lawyers and try to kind of, work things out for you. So best thing is to send us an email at info@gehilaw.com, and I'll be happy to kind of communicate with you. And or you can just call me tomorrow at 718-764-6911. Tomorrow, call us tomorrow. So we'll be happy to kind of answer your question and see what we can do for you. So now let's take a question from Hina Wajid. So we applied for a visit visa for my mother, father, and sister together. It has been 3 years ago. My dad and sister got visa, but my mother, they didn't approve, but did stamp till now. What are we going to do mean while she visited UK? So you need to clarify the question a little more to see whether your mother actually got the visa or not, but did not stamp till now. So if she has a visa, and if the visa is valid, then your mother can travel to the United States. Let's take a simple example. She should have a valid visa. If she has a valid visa, then she can travel to the United States. That shouldn't be a problem. So if the visa is expired, then you would have an issue. So that's my answer to Hina's question. Now, let's see what Laura has to say. My fiance and I are applying for him. Okay, hold on for a second. Now, what happened to this too? Yes. My fiance and I are applying for him to come here so we may marry. Once we are married, he would like to find a job and work. Can this only be obtained by applying for the green card after we marry? If he's supposed to wait until the green card is processed, we can get a work permit. Laura, we've handled a lot of these cases. The most important thing is that when he comes in, what we can do in this instance is we can apply for his work permit. So God willing, from the time he comes here, within 4 months, he should be able to get his work permit out from once we apply for the papers. So we don't have to wait until the green card. And this is a possibility. But the best thing for you to do is to plan everything at this stage so that in future, it's going to be much easier for you to kind of make sure that he gets his work permit. So we have some more viewers from Karim Al Mahdi. So Okay, so the thing is that, from Kareem, you need to make sure that we don't understand the language. And also, we would request you, whoever the person is, to make sure that, be respectful because these shows are being recorded and we reserve the right to exercise our legal rights to people who are going to be disrespectful or rude because we are being nice and we expect the same niceness. And these matters will be handled by our cyber team to investigate people who actually are here to kind of basically, use disrespectful language. People who use disrespectful language are people who have not learned manners from their parents, who haven't done respect, and God bless them with a better sense of this to make sure that that they act better. So I would request. Okay, so Oscar has a question. What do you think Joe Biden will do for immigration? Based upon the promises that are happening over here, I would say that Joe Biden should be pretty good for immigration, and he will be relaxing our laws. And I think things will be better. Of course, there are people who don't want immigration reform, but I am for immigration reform because I firmly believe that immigrants have done a lot for America, and I will always stand for that. And even if people don't like our answers, we are here for immigrants. And when can I get started on a career in law? I live in the UK and I have a BA in food science. That's a very good question, Michael. So I think what you need to do is start interning with the law firm at this stage. And at least that'll help you to get your foot in the door. And that'll help you to have a good understanding as to what you can do. So if I were you, I would definitely make sure that I would work for a law firm, get that experience. Even if you have to start with an internship, it's absolutely worth it for you. So I would definitely do that for sure. So that's something that I would strongly recommend. Uh, uh, the gentleman to do. So I live in Netherlands with my wife, who works as a lens crafter. We would like to move to America. How can we do this? Let me see whether Netherlands is a country that has an e-visa. Let me just check that out for you. Yes, that's good news for you. The good thing is, Michael, what you can do is if she can start a lens crafter's business in America, or if she has any other business plans in mind, then she can come to the United States, set up her own company, and work for the company. And you can also join her, and you can get a work permit. So things are not bad for you, and you should consider the E2 visa. And you can email us if you have any questions. So, Michael, you have good news. Michael, please consider the E2 visa or a sponsor bring employer. Under the E2 visa, you can invest and sponsor yourself. So this is the good thing about it. Through investment, you can sponsor yourself. So that's very good. So you don't need a sponsor. You can form a company. You can start your business directly. So you don't need an actual sponsor. The company becomes a sponsor. Now, from Hima Bajat, I'm a green card holder and people are applying for unemployment nowadays, but I didn't because I thought I would be. I think, Hina, you're doing the right thing because we really don't know what how the laws are changing. But if you can avoid it, nothing like it. So I know it's hard for you, but only if it's a compelling necessity, then I would say go for it. But uh, if the current administration continues to become so conservative, then things are going to be difficult for green card holders too. And I'm glad that you're holding up, Hina. God bless you. But if you can avoid it, or look for another job. That's what I would do. But if you have to, then you have to. What can you do? But thanks for standing up and wishing you the best on that. So that's the answer to Hina's question. And these are some excellent questions. If there are more questions, feel free to ask your questions. We'll be happy to chat. And, that's what the session is about. So from Facebook, please discuss the latest in immigration bans. Immigration bans I just mentioned, it's basically about some countries over here which are being banned. And other than that, still we are waiting for H-1B visa holders who are stuck abroad to come into this country. And students are allowed. That's a good thing. And basically, visitor visas, people holding visitors are still allowed to come in. So a lot of people are affected by the ban, and people like who applied for the green card for the relatives, they are banned right now. But I think the law doesn't make any sense about the bans to me, because how could you ban a particular group of people? So in a sense, dealing with a political season here, and you're dealing with things which I've never seen in immigration in my entire career. So in the past, when people used to discuss, we used to talk about, illegal immigration in the country. But now you're seeing a big turn of events about legal immigration too. And if you look at statistics in this country, you look at all the great people, a lot of them have been immigrants. Look at Sergey Brin from Google. Look at all these big people like who've come here, who've really created employment. So at the end of the day, I would say that it's very important for you to make sure that exactly you all stand up, vote in this election, and choose the government that would be kind of opening up the doors. Now, again, I cannot stress the importance today of getting your paperwork in order. If you're sponsoring your relative, please do it soon. Because the next thing we may see is that they may not allow us to sponsor relatives. Because the executive orders are coming in regularly. We don't know what's the next executive order. Apply for your brothers and sisters, apply for your parents, apply for your mother, apply for your father, apply for your brothers and sisters, apply for your asylum immediately. Do everything now. Don't wait until the last minute. Because even I'm surprised to look at the pace at which the law is changing. If you're out of status, if you're married to a citizen, consult a lawyer. Start getting legal, because what I'm seeing now, this is like people are getting the notice to appear left and right. But don't be scared. There are many good judges in this country. There are many good people in this country who look at the law the way the law should be, who interpret the law properly. Stand up for your rights. That's what my message is to a lot of my viewers today. Okay, there's another thing nowadays, which is you can apply for rent assistance that we can apply as green card holders. Look at the law and then apply HINA. And if you're even applying for rental assistance, make sure that you check with the respective authorities that, I don't see that to be a problem, but this is advice which I'm giving you is general in nature. And based upon my analysis, based upon my general advice, I don't think that it should be a problem for you. But as I said, always be safe rather than sorry. Check with the respective authorities, check with your attorney about this question. But, as a general answer, not as your attorney, I would say that I don't see this to be a problem, applying for rental assistance. So those are some important questions that people have raised today. And again, I must repeat that apply for your brother, apply for your sister, apply for your mother, apply for your father. And if you get a denial notice in the mail, or if you're getting a request for evidence from immigration, uh, deal with a qualified immigration attorney. Because I'm seeing a lot of requests for evidence. I'm looking at a lot of denials coming from immigration. I'm seeing that exactly cases. I mean, I'm also seeing 485s being denied by immigration, even without giving you a chance for an interview. Well, that is something that I would be very much concerned about. So just make sure that if it is a 485, make sure that exactly, that's very important. So Douglas Thompson from Facebook, can you give us some ways I can get into the US via work visa? But Douglas, which country are you from? Can you specify again which country you are from? That is critically important for us. If you could just, let us know the country that you belong to, that's going to be very helpful for us. So one of the ways is, Douglas, what you can do is that if you don't get the H-1B visa, if you're not from India or if you're not from China, your best bet is, oh, good, you're from Poland. So you have a couple of things. You can look for an employer. And if an employer likes your skills, they can directly apply for a green card without an H-1B. Yes. And the second thing is consider coming to the US on a student visa, because after you get your student visa, the good news is that after, depending on the program you take later on, you'll also be allowed to get your work permit under the optional practical training or under the curricular practical training. And through that, Doug, you should be able to kind of, find a way. And if anything else, you can email us at info@gehilaw.com. And those emails do come to us and we reply to your emails. That is very, very important. So that is important. And, if you have any questions, you can ask us here and we'll be happy to kind of, answer your questions over here. So that was the question which we had from Douglas. And if there are any more questions, feel free to basically, put on your question. Okay, so John. Okay, so answer live. So John has a question. Let's answer live. Please, I want to speak. Okay, answer live. Okay. Okay, so let me type the one second. How does this education translate to your certifications? Okay, so the way it works, you will have to get a credential evaluation. So if you get a credential evaluation, you'll know. So that is a very important thing. Get a credential evaluation done, and that's how we'll know exactly. Now there's a question here again from Laura. So I'd rather prefer if you can come onto the Zoom page and ask the question. That'll be much easier for me. But I'm battling between some different question and answer sites. So when Alan comes here, how does his education South America? You'll have to get your credential evaluation. So that's my answer to the question here. So now there's a question here from Danny Marino from Facebook. What visas are applicable for getting into the United States from Italy? So from Italy, you can also go for a visitor visa. And if you're a businessman, Danny, think about starting your business. Think about the E-visa, E2 visa. So you can start your own business here. And a lot of Italian clients of mine, which I've dealt with, they always consider the E2 visa. And, for example, if you're a restaurateur, you can do very well, of course, after COVID, but it's time for you to plan everything, like, start your business. You can do very well in America. And, any business. If you're in Italy, you need to consider the oil business, which is really good. And, food business. You should be an entrepreneur. The good thing is, if you're an entrepreneur, think about the e-visa. If not, if you're a very skilled worker, if you're very skilled in what you're doing, look for an employer who can sponsor you for a green card. Or if not, of course, get married. And under American law, you can get married to a member of the same sex. You can get married to a member of the opposite sex. So that is very important for you, Danny Marino from Italy. And I'm always available to help you. You can email us at info@gehilaw.com. So Lauren Jeeves from Facebook, how can I move to Canada from the US? I think the best thing for you to do is you'll have to get in touch with a Canadian lawyer and you'll have to apply for landed permanent residence in Canada. So that would be a way you can get to Canada by getting, they have the point system in Canada. So consider going on the Canadian Consulate's website and look at the point system. That's the first thing I would do. And if not, the other way to do it is to look for a Canadian attorney. And that's how you should be able to get to Canada from the US. So some very good questions, and we are still open to questions. Again, I must say, political asylums apply as soon as possible. Sponsoring relatives doesn't matter where you are in the US or in the world. We can help you with the immigration matters. So that's very important. So laws are changing. Please do not stay quiet. Don't, the worst thing you can do is don't do anything. That's something that's going to haunt you in the future. And I've seen when people talk to a lawyer, they realize that they have rights. There have been people who've met me in the past. They thought they had no ways of getting the green card. They qualified. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. There's a saying in English that fortune favors the brave. You just have to be brave and you have to stand up for your legal rights. That is very important. So Lauren Jeeves, how can from Henry Solons, where is the first place I should go if I need help with legal matters but cannot afford a lawyer. I live in the UK. So if you're in the UK, you need to look at legal aid, or you can speak to the bar council in the UK where you live, or you can go to the court in the UK and tell them that you're looking for a pro bono attorney, PRO. So that's my answer to the question for Henry Solons, that you can look for a pro bono attorney. And that would be, what is the best way to switch the visit visa to a migrant visa other than getting married? So, Hina, I don't know which country you're from, but if you're not from India and if you're not from China, then the good news for you is that consider the EB2 or the EB3 category. EB2 would be better than EB3, and you may qualify for a green card within 1.5 years. So we've had clients from different countries, and when they find an employer, they come to us straight, then we figure it out. If you have an employer who's ready to sponsor you, just email us. Then we can start talking to you. We can counsel you as to how you can go through it. So that's very important. Okay, now this is again a question from Hina. Now she is from Pakistan, I believe. So your best bet would be, Hina, to kind of look for an employer, and because luckily countries except India and China are not backlogged. So if you find an employer, you can qualify for a green card in approximately 2 years if everything goes right for you. So that's a very, very good question. And please, viewers, if you have any questions, come on Zoom and ask us the questions. Or if you have any other questions, keep typing and I'll be happy to answer the question. So as I said, since this show is doing so well, even next week, we are going to continue the same show. So, and also since we have something how to basically fight your deportation, you can fight your deportation. You can always fight your deportation. So remember that is very important. So you have the right to fight your deportation if you have the legal grounds for it. Not in every case, but in most cases, you may be able to fight your deportation. So that's my kind of answer to people. The other question that came in from a viewer was that I have a deportation order and I'm married to a citizen. Can I ever qualify for a green card? The answer is that you may, because you should consider the provisional waiver. And even now, that is available. So again, before the law changes, please, if you have a deportation order, consult an attorney. If you have a voluntary departure order, consult an attorney. If you have parents who can sponsor you, consult an attorney. If you are sponsoring your parents, consult an attorney. So make sure that you should be okay in fighting for your rights. Stand up for your rights. Joseph Cawley from Facebook. I was abandoned in Argentina by my girlfriend, and I'm not being allowed to leave because she took my passport. What can I do? You need to immediately look for a lawyer in that country, and you can apply for a duplicate passport in that country, or you'll have to file a petition in the court over there to let them know that someone is holding up your passport. And I'm not an expert in that country, neither I'm a lawyer from that country. But in most countries, holding up someone's passport is against the law, and that may be criminal in that country. This is a general advice, and but you need to actually consult a lawyer in that country for sure, Joseph. So that's my answer to Joseph's question. So, folks, this is what I like about the show is that wherever you may be, in New York, in Florida, in California, and we have people coming in from all over the world, and we are here to basically answer your questions that may relate to immigration. Now, what you should do in the coming election: ask your parents to vote who are US citizens, ask your brothers, your sisters, your friends to vote, and go with the political party that supports immigration. Go with the political party that is for immigration, because that's the only way for us to basically make sure that that we can make America great. So people forget the contribution of immigrants, in this country. So if you even do your legal research, you'll see even, what's her name, the Secretary of State of this country, which is, I forget her name, and even she was actually from a foreign country. So you must see that they have actually, done a lot for this country. One of the secretaries of states, this wonderful lady, her name is not on Margaret, I believe. That's what is her name. And since my viewers are so good, they need to see a secretary of state who was actually a foreign national. So you must see that people have held powerful positions in this country, even when they've come in as immigrants in this country. Now look at Kamala Harris. Her parents were immigrants in this country. So this is a country that has been built by immigrants. But the problem is that some people forget that even their grandparents were immigrants. So, we need to understand the contribution of immigrants. I know people, some of them, they don't like immigration, but look at your grandfather, where he came from. Look at where your great grandfather came from. Make sure that we all, irrespective of our stand in America, we all need to respect people who are here to work for the betterment of the United States. And that is what I propose. A true American is someone who stands up for America. A true American is someone who is ready to give his life for the United States of America. I may have been born in this country, but if I'm not protecting the United States of America, if I'm not respecting the United States of America, if I'm not standing up for the Constitution of the United States, then I think it's a shame for me to be called an American in this country. We all should love this country, irrespective of our differences. For me, America comes first, then comes everything else. So thank you, folks. And we are going to continue this session because of the overwhelming response that we have received. And even next week, we are going to have your question and answers with Attorney Gehi. And what we are also going to do, we are also going to give you the latest headlines from immigration. And I want you all to ask me your questions. Doesn't matter whether it's an H-1B question, employment-based immigration, whether it's an E-1, E-2 visa, or whether it relates to a marriage-based immigration case, whether it deals with a deportation case. So spread the word that this show now, again, is going to be about your questions. And Green Card with Gehi is going to answer your questions every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned. The instant program constitutes an attorney advertisement. So let me answer this last question before I go. That I think Dania Wajid, I will not disappoint you. I will answer your question before we leave. And the advice on this particular program is general in nature and does not apply to any specific facts of your case unless and until an attorney-client agreement is reached into between the parties. And also this show is recorded. So please make sure that you are respectful. And if you're disrespectful, we reserve the right to basically file an action for defamation if it hurts the sentiments of any particular community, or if it's anything that relates to basically hurting anybody who's on the show, especially our wonderful viewers. So I'm going to just take this question from Dania Wajid. I visit 3 times to the US and visit visa, but every time they stop me at the airport, except one time. And every time, no reason to visit UCC. My sister, and she's not well, and also my question is that been more than a year. No, firstly, I want to, Dania, what is your legal status in this country? And if you're here on a visit visa, they have the right to question you because they want to see your motive as to why you're visiting so often. So since you are on a non-immigrant B1, B2 visa, they reserve the right to actually kind of, question you. And I would strongly recommend you just be respectful, answer the questions, and they will let you in. But don't come in too often. When you come in too often, they feel that you're working in the United States or you're violating the law. So that's why they do question you so much. So, but since you're on a non-immigrant visa, they can also revoke your visa if you do not answer the question satisfactorily. So my answer to your question, be respectful, be good, and answer them the questions. That's my answer. So folks, thank you very much. And again, next week, the show is going to be your questions and my answers on Green Card with Gehi. Same topic will be scheduled next time. Spread the word, spread the videos, and thank you for watching Green Card with Gehi. and prior results do not guarantee future outcome. Thank you.